Hi, everybody. Melanie here, and welcome. If you're new to my channel, I am a wife, mom of seven, grandmale to my grandchildren, and an author of a book about dating and relationships called Diamonds in the Rough, which I'll show you later on. But today, what prompted this video is a conversation I had with someone earlier. And I'm really passionate about children and protecting them. And I'm also the voice of reason to a lot of people that surround me. A lot of people in my circle, I'm the voice of reason. And I give advice 24/7. Sometimes 3, 4 in the morning, my phone is ringing. I'm giving advice. And I just wish people would take my advice all the time. I wish they would, but you know how it goes. They don't. So I know a lot of us have been in relationships that have failed, and we have children as a result of those relationships. So once the relationship is over, sometimes, you know, it's still toxicity. You can't get along to co parent, you can't get along to save your life. I know with my ex husband, it was horrible. We couldn't get along. We couldn't agree on anything. It was just a back and forth. And I can look back and say now, it definitely wasn't on my end. It definitely wasn't on my end. I know some people, just want to put the blame on the other person. But look, what I went through was insane. Some of the people that know the story, it was insane. I did make another video, and you can go back and listen to the video I did about forgiveness, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That situation was insanity, okay? And I could have been in a straitjacket somewhere, still, rocking back and forth. And the rest of my children could have been in DCFS custody because of what those people put me through. But anyway, on to protecting the children. So I had a conversation with someone earlier, and it just really revved me up for the day because I'm like, this is insane. This is not going to happen, and you shouldn't let it happen. So, not to put anybody's business in the street, I'm not going to say a name, but anyway. So, just say for instance, you have a child, the father is not in the picture. You have to put him on child support. Okay, child support, you're getting it. There's no relationship between the child and the absent person. They started off, a little shaky, maybe, would visit with the child, see him every once in a while, but this person hasn't seen your child in a year. This person hasn't FaceTimed or called your child or to check on your child in a year. Birthday has passed, no communication. Christmas passed, no communication. This person pops up out the woodwork requesting to see your child. What do you do? My suggestion is absolutely nothing. Okay? Absolutely nothing, especially if you're not court ordered to. You know what I'm saying? Because this person has not shown to be consistent in your child's life. This person has shown that your child is not a priority. So to think that they can pop up like popcorn out the blue sky a year later requesting to see your child because you're the one that's been raising them, that's crazy. That's real crazy. So a person that you haven't had communication with, you shouldn't even feel comfortable relinquishing your child to that person. You don't know how that person is living. That person can be a drug addict. He could have, developed an addiction over the year that you haven't spoken. You don't know where they're staying. You don't know what they're doing, how they're living. You don't know anything. But you could, potentially be contemplating letting your child go with this person. Absolutely not. That's my advice. Absolutely not. There's so many people in these situations. And I know a lot of mothers say, hey, I need a break. I haven't had a break in so long. He's reaching out. I'm just gonna go ahead and let my child, go spend time with their dad or their moms, because there are moms in this situation too that don't have their children and the dads have their children. So it goes for either or. So if that's the case, and this person just pops up, okay, you're saying you need a break. You've been doing it all by yourself. That's understandable. I understand fully. But you have to look at the big picture. Is this what's in the best interest of the child? Has this person shown themselves as being consistent? Can you depend on this person? Do you know where this person lives? Do you know what this person is doing with their life? Do you know who this person even is around? Do you know anything? No, because y'all haven't been communicating for a whole year. You don't know anything. You just know what the person is going to tell you in order to get your child into their hands. And then after that, they stop answering the phone, won't communicate with you as in times past, won't communicate with you when they have the child. You're sitting around wondering, like, man, what's going on? He won't even text me back. You know, I don't know. Is he going to show back up with my child when it's time? When it's time to go? You shouldn't even have to wonder stuff like that. If that kind of stuff is in the back of your mind, the child shouldn't be going. Okay. There's too many people out here playing games with these kids, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's all because of pettiness. A lot of these people don't want to be on child support. They don't want to have any responsibility. And so, even though they don't actually want the child, they will sit up and play games with the child just to make your life miserable. I've seen it, I've been through it. Now, I know everybody can't base their situation on what I went through, which was horrible, it was horrible, but I protected my child. And I was under court order to have my ex husband have visitations and things of that nature. And I had to go ghost. I had to go ghost. It was no other option. My child was not being treated properly. My child's diapers weren't being changed. My child wasn't being treated like the other children that were in the household with them. My child would come back to me when we exchanged at the police station without a car seat. Every other kid in the vehicle had a car seat. My child didn't. My child would come back to me with summer clothes on, and it would be like 40 degrees. It was just ridiculous. If you see somebody is not valuing your child the way you do, they shouldn't even have the opportunity to be in your child's presence. That's point blank, period. You don't play with your kid. It only takes one time for something bad to happen, or you saying, man, I need a break. Okay, you'll get a permanent break if that person doesn't bring your child back. It'll be a permanent break, okay? And then how will you feel? Because you wanted a break on a weekend or a break for a week. How will you feel then? People are usually consistent with their actions. And you hear all the time, if they show you who they are, you better believe it. You better believe it. You better believe it. If they've shown you time after time after time that your child is not a priority, it's not hard to pick up the phone and call a child. And with all the technology we have today, you can FaceTime, you can talk to the child, see the child on Facebook Messenger if you don't have an iPhone or whatever. It's so many options. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. It's like, how do you go months without communicating with your child? I don't know. I mean, somebody needs to enlighten me because I don't know. I was never able to do it. And it's like, 9 times out of 10, if mothers did that, we would be, looked upon worse than men that do it all the time. All the time. So, what are your thoughts? Y'all tell me how y'all feel about this. Like, if somebody popped up and want to see your kid and want to be back involved after they've been ghosts, like I mean ghosts, not answering messages for months, miss birthday, miss Christmas, been ghosts. What would your response be? Some of the steps that I would take if I felt like, the person may be sincere, would be to watch the person's actions. First of all, they wouldn't get my child right off the bat since they just popped up. They just felt like being interested at the moment. They would have to show some level of consistency. And I would say at least 6 months because, your child's mental health and everything is worth that, isn't it? You have to show me that you're going to call on a regular basis. You're going to develop a relationship where my child is used to talking to you on a regular basis. That's going to have to happen. That's going to have to happen before a handoff and an exchange of my child who is valuable is made. That would have to happen. Because now, especially if the child is older and understanding people that are, placed in their life and supposed to be in their life, it's even more damaging when the person goes ghost again. Suppose you just say, oh, hey, he popped up. I'm going to go ahead and let my child go with him. And then, I mean, it's crickets chirping for the next 6 months. Then you're left, mom, you're left with that child wondering, where's dad? Especially if they can talk now. Where's that? Where did he go? Where's daddy? Or where's mommy? You're left to deal with that mess. You're left to deal with that trauma. You're definitely left to deal with the rejection. You're left to deal with that child sitting by the window thinking mom or dad is about to show up because you didn't vet them out and make sure that they were going to be consistent this time. That's something you can't play with. I'm serious. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's not a joke. It's not a game. Your kids' lives are not a game. You can't play games with stuff like this because kids be sitting in therapy at 5 years old because of games like this. Rejection runs deep. It cuts deep, okay? And it can start off at a very young age. You don't want to be the parent saying later on, man, I wish I would have just stopped him from, from going with this person. You don't want to be the person. Stop it now. Stop it now. They need to show some consistency and put in some work before they are granted, the privilege of taking your child anywhere. Anywhere. Do you agree or disagree? You know, I put it like this. When we go to restaurants, if we have a bad experience, what do? Most of us don't go back, right? If you go to get your hair done on a regular basis or your nails, you have a bad experience, what do? Do you go back so they can snatch all the hair out your head, burn it out with the perm? Do you go back after they done cut your nails down so low and cut the skin too and cut you to the white meat? Do you keep going back? No, no, you don't. You don't keep giving them chances. So why would you keep giving somebody a chance with something as precious as something as precious as your child? Like I said, especially if you're not court ordered to do so. When you're court ordered, I know that's a whole different ball game. Been there, done that. Okay, I've had a judge threaten to throw me in jail for a year for not letting my ex-husband, get his visitation rights. But like I said, my daughter was not being treated right. So I was, that's what I was up against. So I'm like, I did what I had to do. I did what I had to do because you're not gonna play in my face with my child, and I know you're not treating her right. You know what I'm saying? It's don't play. So my advice to anyone who is going through similar situations, I know you need a break. I got 7 kids. I know you need a break. It's hard out here, especially if you don't have a support system where you are. You want a break, somebody is asking, hey, man, I want to come back into this child's life. And you're like, whoo, yes, hallelujah, give me a break. Think about the road ahead. Think about the damage control that you're going to be left, to fix what you're going to be left with if this person isn't going to show up like they're supposed to show up. Keep that in the back of your mind. Also, look at the pattern of behavior this person has shown you in the past. People show you who they are all the time. Look at that and let that be a gauge. I don't care if you have to sit down with a piece of paper and write down the pros and the cons. Write down where this person has showed up, where this person has missed it. Think long and hard. Is it worth putting my child in a situation that could potentially end him up on or her up on the couch of some therapist? Because this person is not consistent. This person is not stable in their life. This person wants to play the yo-yo game with my child. Is it worth it? Vet the person. If the person is willing to do the right thing, then they will be willing to call. They will be willing to call, FaceTime, do all of that on a regular basis. They'll be willing to do that. It should be no issue whatsoever. None. So with that, I just wanted to leave you with that, just something to think about because there's just too much going on these days with these kids. And it's really disheartening when you see on the news the different things that are happening to children, because someone thought, oh, he never do that, he'll never kidnap the kid, or he wouldn't do this or she wouldn't do that. It's always the people that you think would never do it. I don't think he'll do that. What have they shown you? What have they shown you? You better go on what you've seen in the past from this person instead of going on your feelings of I need a break. You got to, because your children's lives are worth it. Your children's lives are worth you digging deep into the background of a person. How can you send your child with somebody that you don't know where they live? You haven't talked to them in months. You haven't seen them. You haven't talked to them. You just don't know what's going on in their life, and you about to get you a break though. Don't do it. Don't do it. You owe your kids more than that. If you need any more advice or anything, grab my book. Grab my book. It's all in there. It's all in there. It's on Amazon. Grab it. If you know somebody who is in need of advice, get the book for them, okay? It's a lot in there. It's packed full of gems that people sometimes don't even think about. Like I said, I've been through it all, I've seen it all, and I can see it coming a mile away, okay, for somebody else. So that's why I'm so vocal, and passionate when I see people about to go down that path. I'm like, ooh, no, boy, if I could just jump inside their body for a day, man, it would be a big difference. Okay. And that's exactly how I be feeling. I'm like, man, if I could just jump in this body for a day, boy, it would be something, okay? Because I'm like, woo, I don't know. I have to stop being so emotional with other people's business, but I don't know. It's just in me. I can't help it. Can't help it. If I see what's about to happen, I'm like, it's just like snatching a kid from running out in the street, you know? That's exactly the feeling that I get, like an adrenaline rush, like, oh no, honey, you ain't about to do this. You're not about to do that. Your child ain't going here, there, anywhere. People will show you how they feel about your child. People will show you. I have some bonus grandchildren, okay? Love them, love them. I was there in the labor and delivery when my oldest granddaughter's mom had a C-section. They had them. I was in the labor and delivery room with her, and they're not my biological grandchildren, but birthdays, Christmas, things of that nature. Who's sending gifts? Grandma, grandma. That's what I'm saying. It's like people show you what your kids mean to them. And if you're the biological father, mother, whoever, grandparents, other relatives, you know, and you can't show up for occasions. I don't care where you live. You can live in Mexico. They get deliveries there. You can communicate there. So it's like it's no excuse at this point. We're not living in the old ages, you know, where they had telegrams and stuff like that. So all these people, ooh, I love my such and such, or I love my grandson and this and that. What? Come on now. Really? Do you really? People talking about oh, we just ain't seen them in a while. You live so far. Okay, I got birthday gifts and Christmas gifts sitting at my house. Okay, UPS, FedEx, DHL. What's up? What's the problem? We don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. And if you don't want to send gifts, it's such thing. Amazon gift cards. They get all kind of sites. You can email people virtual gift cards. So don't play in my face. That's what I'm saying. See, I'm about ready to say some people's names, but I'm trying not to because you're not gonna play. You're not gonna play with anybody affiliated with me. Point blank. Period. Period. Is no excuse. And then the effort that's been put forth when your child has been in close proximity to the other family and the people involved on the other side, the effort is put forth in visiting the child when they're in close proximity and not hours away is little to none. Don't play, okay? If your child is not a priority, they will feel it. They will feel it, okay? Children do have feelings too. They will feel that they're not a priority. And it's best to nip this mess in the bud while the child is too young to understand what's going on. Because when the child is old enough to talk, and it would just break your heart if they're reaching out and asking you why this person hasn't called them and why they haven't come around. Why doesn't grandma call me? Why doesn't dad, come around? Why doesn't auntie do this? Don't put yourself in that situation. If you see these people are not who they say they are, who they portray themselves as, don't do it, okay? Don't do it. So, with that, I hope this has been a help to somebody. I know it's somebody going through this. You might need a break. I pray your strength in the Lord, okay? Because that's not the kind of break you want to get with your child being hurt, with your child being damaged mentally and emotionally. That's not the kind of break you want, because it's not going to be good in the long run for the child or for you when the child is acting out because he's feeling or she's feeling rejected. So give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts, okay? Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think, how you feel, and go back and watch my video that I have posted on forgiveness and you will see exactly what I went through. I'm going to have to do a second video to that and talk more in depth about my last marriage. Well, not my last, but my previous marriage. Because right now I've been married for 21 years to the husband I'm with now. So that was previous to this. But yeah, I have to give y'all a rundown because that was a hot mess. But just a little video I did on forgiveness will give you some insight as to what I went through and what the situation was, which was a hot, steaming mess. Okay. So give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and get somebody that needs this book, get it in their hands ASAP. Okay. Because time out for the shenanigans, time out for the toxic cycles of relationships and abuse and all this stuff and not having a voice and just letting just dismissing red flags. It's time out for all of that. It's time for everybody to get healthy, have healthy relationships, and dismiss these toxic people out of your lives that don't deserve to be in your life. Okay. And it's time for you to know that you deserve better. You deserve exactly what you want. You don't have to accept anything less, okay? And just like the topic of the title of my book, Diamonds in the Rough, that's what you are. You're diamonds in the rough. You got to get through this, all of this stuff to find the diamond that you are, okay? So be blessed. Let me know what you think. Drop your comments. Help somebody, bless somebody by buying them this book. If you see they're always in cycles of abuse and bad relationships and just a cycle all the time, bless them. Okay, just bless them. All right, y'all have a blessed day. Until next time.